So what we're going to start doing are polynomials. What does the prefix poly mean?
Multiple.
Multiple, lots, many. It just means that you're adding or subtracting lots of things together. Now, when you look at this, I know it's like, it looks like the alphabet threw up on your paper. I get it, okay? But do you see a plus or a minus anywhere in there? No, that is what's called a monomial. What does mono mean? One. Like there's nothing added or subtracted. It's literally just one term. It's like one thing is a monomial, okay? Do you see the plus here and the minus here and the plus here in this one? Okay, this is a polynomial because we're combining multiple, poly means multiple, lots, all right, more than one, multiple monomials with plus and minus. So you're taking those single terms and adding or subtracting them together, and then there are multiple terms, and that's what polynomial means, okay? So look at this one. Do you see how we have something plus something else? There are two terms, 1, 2. So that is called a binomial. Bi means two, like bicycle has 2 wheels. Or bilingual, you speak 2 languages. Good. Binomial, 2 terms, something plus or minus something else, okay? Do you see how this one has 3? Something plus something minus something? Good. Trinomial. Tri means 3, like a tricycle. Now, beyond that, we don't have a special word for them. There's not like a four-nomial. We just call them polynomials. Yeah, we don't have a quadnomial. We have binomial and trinomial, and after that, we don't really have special names. It's kind of like in geometry, which I know you guys will take that next year, but you know how we have words for them, like pentagon and octagon and stuff like that, and then after a while you give up and it's just a 14-gon, like we don't have names for them anymore. It's kind of like that. All right, so this has been written in what is called descending order. Descending means you start with the biggest and then they get smaller, okay? Descending order with respect to the x variable. Look, do you see how this one's x to the second? And then this is x to the first. There's nothing written. And then this is technically x to the nothing. There isn't an x there, but you want to try and keep them in descending order if it's possible. Sometimes it's not because everything's just a big jumble. But if you can, you want to put them in descending order. Like terms have the same variables and exponents. They have to match exactly. If they don't match exactly, they're not like terms. So I know you all can add and subtract, and to be honest, even if you can't, you get a calculator, okay? So that's not the hard part. Basically, all you have to be able to tell is which terms can get added and subtracted together, which ones are like terms. So look at this one. Do you see how it is an x and then a y squared? It has to match exactly. We're looking for an x and a y squared. So do you see any terms out of this list here? And I think there's a couple that would be a like term with this one. Good. The number out front doesn't matter. It's just the variables and the exponents. Do you see how this is an x and a y squared? So we want that one. And then there's actually one more. Yeah, the last one. This is a -1xy squared. So you just need to find the ones that match exactly. That's all that there is to it. Beyond that, you're just adding them up. So here we're going to add. Now, when I find like terms, and you can do this however you like, I put shapes around them to match them together. Like these ones are the squares and these ones are going to be a circle and these ones are a triangle. You could color code if you wanted to get different pens, totally up to you. All right. But look at this one. Do you see the 4x cubed? I'm going to put a square around that. And then I'm going to look through this. Do you see another x cubed? Yes. Yes. Which one? 6x cubed. And we're going to add those together. So 4x cubed plus 6x cubed is 10x cubed. You're literally just adding them together. It's like you have 4 apples plus 6 apples. Now you have 10 apples. So then look at the next one. We have a 2x squared. I'm going to put a circle around that. Do you see another x squared? -7x squared. So 2 minus 7 will be -5x squared. And then lastly, we have just the numbers. I'm going to put a triangle around that. We have 4 plus 10, which would be 14. Now, you don't have to do the thing with the shapes like I did. I just do that to match them up. Again, if you wanted to get different colored pens, you could color code them. You don't have to do anything if you're fine just doing it in your head. But I find that that helps, so I'm going to use shapes. Does that sit well with everybody? Yeah. Right, we're just adding. All right, let's try it again. I'm going to do a few more, and then I'm going to give you guys one to try. Okay, so here I have a 4x cubed. I'm going to put a square around that. And then you're looking for another x cubed. X cubed. Okay, good. So if you have 4x cubed plus 1x cubed, that would be 5x cubed. Good, perfect. Now the next one I'm actually going to look at is the x squared. You want them to go in descending order if you can. I'm going to put a circle around that one. Do we have another x squared? No. No, so it'll just be plus x squared. Like it's just there. It didn't get to combine with anything. We're going to close the Chromebook and set it aside while I'm teaching, okay? And then lastly, we have a -1 and a +10. And I'm putting triangles around that. Again, if you want to go with the whole shapes thing. -1 plus 10 would give us 9. Perfect. This one has m's in it, but it's the exact same idea. 5m cubed. Do you see any other m cubes? 2m cubed. Perfect. So that would be 7m cubed. Now, next I want to look for m squared. So do you see an m squared? Like we want it to go in descending order if we can. Yeah, 1m squared. Since that doesn't combine with anything, it's just going to be plus m squared. Like don't overthink that. That's all that is. And then we have 6m plus 2m, which would be 8m. And after square, triangle, circle, I'm kind of out of other shapes, so I'm sort of just going to point at the last two. We have a -2 plus 5. Diamond, that won't mess you up with the triangle. Or a heart. Oh, I'll do a heart. That's a good one. I like diamond, but I don't want that to mess you up with the triangle. We'll do a heart. That's good. Anyway, -2 plus 5 would be 3. That's a good idea. Thank you. I'll use a heart. I like the idea of diamond. Whoever said diamond, I'm not dismissing you. I just don't want to mess it up with the triangle. Okay, let's try one more together, and then I'm going to give you one to try on your own. Now, this one has A's and B's, so you're going to have to be really careful. We have 2a squared b. So you need to find another a squared b. It has to match exactly. Do we have another a squared b? No. Okay, so cool. Just leave it. If it doesn't combine with anything, just leave it alone. This is one where there's not really a descending order because you have, like, it's just a jumble. You have A's and B's. All right, so then we have 3AB. Do you see another AB? 12AB. So 3AB plus 12AB, 15AB. Good. And then we have -4AB squared plus 9AB squared. That would be 5AB squared. All right, so for this last one, we're not really going to be able to do descending order because it's sort of just a jumble. So if yours is in a different order than mine, but you have all the same numbers, it's still the right answer, even if you have it in a different order. Do you understand? Yeah. Okay, because this one's kind of just a mess. All right, I have 9g squared h. Is there another g squared h? Good, we have a plus 10g squared h. And then good, plus 2g squared h. So if you add all those together, what is that, 21g squared h. Okay, good. All right, then I have 9h squared. Good, plus 7h squared, that'll be 16h squared. And then this guy is left over. Here, I'll put a triangle around it just to make it not feel left out. It'll be minus 4gh. How did that go? Went all right? You did it? Yeah, I believe in you. Yeah, if it was in a different order, that's totally fine. So on this side of the paper, we're going to subtract instead of add. Instead of a one-step problem, these will be two-step problems, okay? The first thing that you're going to do is just write down the first part. So see how that says 3x plus 5y? I want you to literally just copy it. Miss Cole, looks like you just wrote the same thing. Yep, that's what I want you to do. Just write down the first part. That's the first step. Now we are subtracting. So what you have to do is subtract all of the other polynomial. What you're doing mathematically is distributing the negative sign, but everything is just going to negate. Whatever it was, you put the opposite for subtraction. So it's going to be minus 2x. Exactly. And then see how it's minus negative 9y? I'm going to put plus 9y. It is like opposite day. Listen though. And remember how we had to warm up about listening to me? Because I want your grades to be good. That's my goal. I'm not going to give you bad advice. Listen to me. Don't try to skip that step. I can do it in my head. No, write it down. Negative signs are the most commonly missed thing ever, all the way up through AP Calculus. It's negative signs. Write it down. Okay. Now we're going to do exactly what we did on the other side of the paper. I see 3x. Do you see a like term with 3x? Good. 3x minus 2x. Yeah, just like what, yep. Just like what we did on the other side of the paper. 3x minus 2x would be 1x. You can put the 1 if you want to. And then 5y plus 9y is 14y, and that's your answer. Just don't skip the middle step. Write it down. It only takes a few seconds, and then you won't miss your negative signs. So number 14, just recopy the first thing. Don't talk over me. Just recopy the first thing. Just do it. It's not actually about intelligence. It's more about like organization, to be honest. Is like, because I've met people that are absolutely brilliant and can't get right answers because they can't stay organized. I just wrote down the first thing. I just recopied it. Then you're going to take this negative and distribute it. And what that's going to do is negate everything that you had before. So it's going to be plus 2x squared. And then what? Minus 7xy plus 4y squared. It's just like opposite day. But you have to write it. Okay. Now we're just going to combine all the like stuff together. I have a 3x squared. Do you see any other x squared? Good. If you add those together, 5x squared. Then we have a minus xy. That's a minus 1xy. Good. So minus xy. Oh, and then a minus 7xy. Now that's tough because they're both negative. If you minus 1 and then minus 7, it's now minus 8. I usually tell people to think of money. If you owe someone $1 and then you owe them $7 more, now you owe them $8. Well, hopefully you don't have a friend that's charging you interest. And that's a totally different mathematical problem involving percentages. Do you guys want to go there? No. Okay, put negative 8. Oh, good. All right, and then we've got 5y squared plus 4y squared, 9y squared. Good. This one has fractions. I'm going to rely on the calculator for this. Okay, but you need to write out the first step. Just recopy. Don't worry about it. We're going to use the calculator. Just literally recopy the first thing. And actually, I'm glad we're going to do it on the calculator. And I'm going to share my screen and show it to you. And I want you to just watch. But we have to be good with the button pushing. Okay. Now you're going to distribute the negative, and it's all just going to be opposite. It'll be minus 2/3 x squared, and then what? Positive 1/5 x minus 3/4. It is no different. It just looks scarier because of the fractions, but we're not scared of fractions. It's going to be okay. We're not scared of fractions. All right. We got a calculator. Just watch. Well, hold on. Let me get everybody together. 1/3 x squared. What will that combine with? Which one of these terms? Yeah, negative 2/3 x squared. So look, if you have a 1/3 minus 2/3, and I'll type it in the calculator if we need to, but if you have 1/3 minus 2/3, I'll type it in. I thought maybe I would just throw it out there, but let me just type it in. Are you guys looking? Look. 1/3 minus 2/3. Now, to turn it back into a fraction, I'm going to hit this little button right here. -1/3. Did anyone say -1/3? All right. Well, hey, kids, do you see how I just typed it in the calculator? Yes. Could you do that? Just button push it? Yeah. All right. Now it's -1/3 what? X squared. Good. Okay, now let's find something else that goes together. We have, okay, we're losing our focus. I gave you a break. I need you to stay focused now. We have 3/5 x plus 1/5 x. I can type that in a calculator, but what would 3/5 plus 1/5 be? It would be 4/5 x. 3/5 plus 1/5 will give you 4/5. Again, you could type it in the calculator, but I don't think that one was too bad. And then we have -1/4 and -3/4. That would be negative a whole. Think if you gave someone a quarter and then you gave them 3 more quarters, like you gave them a whole dollar. But again, you can always use the calculator. We're going to do one more together. Shh. Guys, I need for you to focus until we're done here. We're going to do one more together, and then I'm going to give you one to try on your own with your group. Okay? Do you see how this is a plus right here? Look. Is anything in here going to change? No. Since that's a plus, is any of this going to change? No, just literally copy it down. You don't need the parentheses anymore there. If you're adding, it's not going to change. It's when you're subtracting that everything's going to be opposite. So, hey, Miss Cole, it looks like you just wrote all this down. Sure did. Do you see how this one has a subtraction? Do you see the minus sign right here? This minus sign. Are we all together? Okay. That is going to distribute into the parentheses, and these will both be opposite. So what will that give us? -4x squared, and then plus 6, and then the -7x squared is kind of just there at the end. Now you're looking for like terms. So we've got a 3x squared. Do you see any more x squareds? Oh, actually, there's a bunch of them. We have a -2x squared, and what else? -4x squared, and -7x squared. All right, let's think our way through this. Because that was not in the parentheses, it was kind of just tacked on at the end, so it didn't change. It just stayed what it was. So let's see what we got. 3 minus 2. That'd be 1. -4 would be -3. Now stuff gets harder because we're negative. -3 and -7. -10x squared. All right, then we've got a -4x. Does that combine with anything? No, so just leave it. -4x. And then you have a +3 and a +6. So that'll be +9. I'm going to do the first step of this one with you because it's kind of long. Just write down this first part, 8x minus 2y. Just write it. Now, what are we going to do with this negative? Good. Everything is going to be opposite. Everything that's in the parentheses, I should say, is going to be opposite. So it will be -3x squared, and then what? -4x, good, plus 5y. Everything's just opposite. Do you see how the next part's a plus? Is any of this going to change? No. If it's adding, just write it down. +2x squared minus x. It's not going to be opposite. You're just adding it all together. And then what do you notice for the last part? It's going to switch everything. Good. That minus is going to get distributed. You'll have -2x squared minus 3x plus 4y. So when you go to combine it together, and I heard you guys saying this, but I'm going to write it up here. Just look. We have 8x minus 4x. That would be what? That'd be 4x. Minus another x would be 3x. And then 3x minus 3x I would just cross them out, but they all cancel. It goes away, which is actually really cool. All right, which term did you do next? I'll go in whatever order you did. The order's not really, I would just go to the y's next. Is that what you did next? Yeah. Okay, that's what I'll do next. Negative 2y, and then plus 5y, almost didn't see that in there. That would be 3y, oh, good, and then plus 4y would be 7y. And then all the rest are x squared. Oh, what do you notice about these two? A plus 2x squared and a minus 2x squared? Those will cancel. If you have a plus 2 and a minus 2, those go away. So actually it would just be minus 3x squared. Good job, guys. Now the last two are word problems. What that means is that you have to read. But listen, the mathematics is not different. You just have to read, okay? The lengths of the sides of a triangle are represented by this, this, and this. So imagine a triangle, those are the lengths. What is the perimeter? What is a perimeter? Outside. So you just add up all the outsides. All you're gonna do is add these together. That's it. So let's add them together. I see a 3x squared. Do you see any other x squareds? Good. What would that be together? Perfect. That's it. 5x squared. Now I do want to put this in descending order since I can for this problem. So we did the x squareds. Let's do the x's next. I see a negative x and then a 7x. What would that be? Good, 6x. And then 6 plus 2 is 8. If you're like, that's it? Yep, see, word problems aren't scary. The math you do is not really any different. You just have to read, okay? So in this one, in 1993, the average cost of a radio was this. This is your 1993 formula. In 2006, we now have a new formula. So this one's 1993, this one's 2006. Are we all together? Two different formulas. It says find the difference. What does the word different? That means subtract. Now you're going to do 2006 minus 1993. It wouldn't make sense to do it the other way around. Like you do where you are currently minus where you started. I realize it's not 2006 anymore, but. So which formula was the 2006 one? That was this one. Are you coming with me on that? Yeah. That's this one. So it's negative 5t squared plus 1200 minus parentheses and then the other one. So we did this one minus that one. You're doing the 2006 formula minus the 1993. And whoever said that was 13 years that went by, you are correct. It's just we're finding the actual formula. So do you see this minus? What are we going to do with it? And it is going to negate everything in there. So we get minus 5t squared plus 1200. And then what? If we do opposite of these, good, plus 15 t squared, and then minus 1,000. Good. And then you just put the like stuff together. So how many t squareds would we have if you combine these? 10t squared, and then plus 200.